All right, good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, we'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know, and we'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Jasmine Dolberry. Morning, Jasmine. What's your date of birth?
Good morning, Your Honor. 2/13/87.
Jasmine, first thing I have for you is a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. I have two of them signed by Judge Merritt. In each case, he found probable cause for a VOP. As to those charges, Jasmine, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint a public defender, please.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond on both of those is no bond, so I can't change that. I'm going to change your date. No, I'm not. You'll be back on the 22nd of January on both of these cases, and the public defender is going to come see you before you go back to, you got one of each. Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're looking.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Judge Merritt signed them both, so I'm going to send them both back to the 22nd, and we'll see what happens there. All right, so both of your cases coming back on the 22nd. Jasmine, PD will come see you before then, all right?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. Brandy Pierce.
Afternoon.
Morning, Brandy, or afternoon. What's your date of birth?
9/21/77.
Brandy, I got two charges today. Operating an unregistered vehicle and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I'm going to appoint the PD, State.
Your Honor, I don't have anything on her.
Really? And Brandy, I have an address for you. I don't have an address. Where you been staying lately?
5351 Emerson.
Okay, how long you been there?
3 months.
And you have a job these days?
I do not. Just moved here.
Okay.
It's been hard.
On the unregistered motor vehicle, I'll release you on your own recognizance. On the driver's license, I'll set a bond of $500. So your total is $500. I'm going to have you back in court on January 30th. It's important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jacqueline Timney. Morning, miss. What's your date of birth?
1/16/79.
Jacqueline, the charge this morning is driving under the influence. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Only a petty theft in 2016.
And Jacqueline, I have an address for you on Little T Lane in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
5 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 16th of January. Be sure to contact the PD when you get out, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dorian Black. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
March 30th, 2000.
Dorian, I got two charges today. I've got a burglary of a conveyance and attempted burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Defender.
I'll point the PD state.
Your Honor, it's exhibit 2015, possession of marijuana, provided false name to Leo. There's robbery with firearm, 2015. Burglary of a dwelling with a firearm. Another robbery, 2015. Looks like they're all in 2015.
Okay.
And birth of date is 2017.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Black, I have an address for you on 9th Avenue South in St. Petersburg. Is that where you live?
No.
Where do you live now?
4114 Fairfield Avenue South.
Okay. In St. Pete?
Yes.
Very good. How long have you been there?
I don't know the exact time.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bond per the schedule, which is $5,000 on each, for a total of $10,000. I'm going to move you to the 16th of January. However, it looks like they told you the 22nd. I'll have you back on the 16th. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the PD right away, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Eli Carroll. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7684.
Eli, I've got a warrant for you out of Pinellas County. The judge that signed the warrant filed probable cause for a grand theft and set your bond at $5,000. I can't change that. If you're able to post that bond, then you can get out of jail here, go down to St. Pete, and find out when they want you back in court. If you cannot post that bond, we'll notify Pinellas right away. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. If you're still here in 5 days, they're going to bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
I just got sentenced here yesterday.
Okay, well then they'll get you down there right away.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Darian Daly. Afternoon, Darian. What's your date of birth?
January 14, 2000.
Darian, you're here on 2 charges. We've got the battery being domestic in nature and resisting without violence. There's probable cause for both those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Prior battery 2016 and a resisting 2018.
And Darian, I have an address for you on Peacock Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
And is that also where Jason Daly lives?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Oh, not at the moment.
How long has it been since you had a job?
A good like 3 months.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 on each count. That's a total of $2,000. Condition of the bond on count 1 is that you'll have no contact with Jason Daly. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through any social media. You don't have a third person contact him. Don't go where he lives. Don't go where he works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked, and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants to contact, so if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he'll get to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he doesn't want to pursue this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they're not dropped and you should not have contact. I also have to hold you this afternoon up until 4 o'clock so that if he wants to serve you with a civil injunction, for protection against domestic violence. We'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as Peacock Road goes, if you get out, obviously you can't stay there anymore. You have to stay someplace else. You could go by one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. But to do that, you'd have to contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who'd stand by while you picked your things up and got going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on January 16th. If you get out, very important that you contact the PD right away. Do you have a question, Darian?
I currently have a warrant out of Pinellas County for our failure to appear.
Right, and I see that. They haven't served it here yet. I'm not sure what they're going to do, if they're going to serve it on you or wait for you to bond out on these charges. I'm not sure.
All right. I was in custody in Hernando. That's why I missed it.
Okay, well, you probably won't be charged with the crime of failing to appear, but that's how the folks in Pinellas get you back on the docket down there.
All right. Thank you very much.
Patrick Green. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
03-2289.
Patrick, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Looks like there's a robbery in 2009 and a ag assault in 2012.
Patrick, I have an address for you on Eldridge Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
And does Denise live there as well?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
A year?
You have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
Landscape?
Okay. I'm going to set your bond, Patrick, at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Denise. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes.
Do you understand that?
No contact whatsoever through third party.
You got it. Also have to hold you up until 4 p.m., so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. Also the same drill with that Eldridge Road address. As long as she's there, you'll have to stay somewhere else. You can go by one time, but you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on the 16th of January. Very important that you contact the PD when you get out, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Robert Green. Morning, Robert. What's your date of birth?
04-26-2000.
All right, Robert, you also have those two, you have a burglar of a conveyance and attempted burglar of a conveyance. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the PD?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Grand theft 2015 and misdemeanor marijuana. That's it.
Okay. And young man, I have an address for you on 17th Street in St. Pete. Is that where you live?
Sir.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
All right. How long you been there?
18 years.
Do your folks know where you are today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you have a job, or you're still in school? What's your deal?
I was working at McDonald's.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $2,000 on each count. That's a total of $4,000. I'm also moving both of yours to the 16th of January. I think they told you the 22nd. You'll be back on the 16th. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Antonio Molina. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
September 25th, 1982.
Antonio, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
A public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender, State.
A fleeing and eluding 2002, misdemeanor marijuana 2007 and 2008. Possession of paraphernalia 2009. Possession of cocaine 2010. There's a couple of trespasses in 2013. A grand theft in 2016.
And Antonio, I have an an address for you on Mariner Boulevard at Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir. 2420.
Right. And is that where Ashley lives as well?
Yes, sir. But I'll be going to 4146 Exis Lane now.
Okay, awesome. All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yeah, I do landscaping and tree work.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Ashley. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, sir. I haven't contacted her for 3 days, and that's the issue. But yes, sir.
Okay. And I also got to hold you till 4 o'clock, so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. You can go by that address one time, but you got to contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of January. Very important that you contact the PD when you get out, okay?
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
You bet.
I mean, Your Honor.
Thank you. Jaquez Rouse. Incoming, sorry. Afternoon, Jaquez. What's your date of birth?
July 17, 2000.
All right. Jaquez, you got those same 2 charges, the burglary of a conveyance and attempted burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Burglary 2017, fleeing and eluding 2016. I believe that's it. But I can confirm.
Okay. And young man, I have an address for you on 24th Avenue in St. Pete. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
5 months.
Okay. Do you have a job these days? You in school? What's going on?
No.
Okay. All right. Same deal. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000 on each count. That's a total of $4,000. I'm going to move them both to the 16th of January. They told you the 22nd, but they'll both be coming back on the 16th. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender's office right away. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Carlos Casanova Valdez.
Your Honor.
Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
6796.
And Carlos, you're here primarily on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. She apparently you failed to appear in her courtroom in October on a charge of no valid driver's license. State, is that something you could resolve today with time served?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And then the other thing we have is a writ to bodily attachment. So on the no valid, Carlos, if you wanted to resolve it today, you could plead no contest. If you did that, I'd send you to 1 day in the county jail, which you've already done. There'd be a fine and court cost of $488 and a $50 charge for the day in jail. But this case would be over today. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yes.
Okay. You understand by entering a plea, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer. But you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 18CT2735 as to the charge you operated a vehicle without a valid license. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea. Find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 1 day in the county jail. Credit 1 day served. Fine and court cost is $488 and $50 for the day in jail. The other issue I have, Carlos, is a writ to bodily attachment. That means that a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determine that you owe some child support. They set a cash purge of $970. Do you have $970, Carlos?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you working these days?
My father had trouble with his company, so I moved to Lakeland and just got back to Spring Hill. I'm supposed to be starting to work next Monday.
Okay. And
It'll be $9 an hour.
okay. And can you get your hands on any money at all, any amount of money at all, if it meant getting out of jail today?
$100.
Okay. All right. So, Carlos, what I'll do on the child support is I'll find you're in contempt for fail to pay child support. The sanction for that contempt will be 10 days in the county jail, or until you pay $100 cash. So as soon as somebody gets the money to the jail, then you can get out. Okay. Let's
So the failure to appear solved already?
The fail to appear is done. That's solved. You pled out. You got time served. That's over. And then you just need to get $100 cash to the jail. That'll get you out of jail on the child support. Once you're out, though, you want to go check with the folks at Child Support Enforcement and get this issue cleared up, because if you don't get it cleared up, they'll start the process over and you get arrested again, okay?
All right.
All right, good luck.
Thank
Michael,
you.
cheer. Morning, Michael. What's your date of birth?
2/10/85.
Michael, this is a probable cause arrest for VOPs in two separate cases. There is probable cause for the VOP. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond, of course, is going to be no bond on both counts. I'll appoint the public defender. I'm going to change the date to the 16th of January. They told you the 22nd. You'll be back on the 16th. And the PD is going to come see you before then, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Seth Ferreira. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
Morning, Your Honor. March 31st, 1985.
Seth, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently you failed to appear in his court earlier this month on possession of controlled substance and possession of paraphernalia. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor.
I'm going to appoint the PD. Judge Toner set your bond at no bond. You'll have to send you back to see him to get that changed. We'll have you back on the 16th of January. They told you the 22nd. The right date is the 16th. The PD is going to come see you before that and see if they can resolve your case or get you a bond on the 16th, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Richard Sword. Afternoon, Richard. What's your date of birth?
12/24/1959.
All right. Richard, you're hearing a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a battery being domestic in nature as a misdemeanor. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
Appoint the PD, state.
Old history, Your Honor, a domestic assault 2003 and a trespass 99 and a DUI.
All right. And Richard, I have an address for you on South Main Street here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
A year this month.
Okay. And does Kathleen live there as well?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Disabled, I draw disability.
So Richard, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also going to hold you till 4 p.m. so that if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. We're going to have you back in court on January 16th. Very important that you contact the public defender if you get out, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. William Taylor.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Mr. Taylor. What's your date of birth?
December 13th, 1984.
Mr. Taylor, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for one count of violation of pretrial release. Does he have an open case now, States?
I believe so.
She does, huh?
It's this is the 18mm 4027.
This is 4088. So I'm guessing 4027 is a battery of some kind.
Yes.
And do we know when 4027 is coming back?
I said January 11th at 9.
In front of me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. And William, you asked for the public defender?
I have a lawyer.
Okay, who's your lawyer?
I don't remember his name, but my dad knows him.
Okay.
Knows his name.
Has anybody told your lawyer where you are today?
I don't know.
Okay. All right, well.
I thought I would call my dad and find out.
Okay. And state, aside from the open case, in this case, any other history?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. second, William.
Okay.
All right, here's what we're going to do on this case, William. I'm going to set the bond at $1,000, and then I'm going to move it to the 11th of January, which is where your other case is. That's the good news. The bad news is, when you're out on bond in a criminal case, the job number one is don't pick up any new charges. It appears to me that you have. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in case number 18MM4027. I'm going to hold you without bond until you come back on the 11th. So you're not going to get out until you come back on the 11th. While you're in jail waiting for that, you're not going to have any contact either by calling or writing from the jail with Jolene McCall. If you have contact with her from the jail, every time you have contact will be a new crime and also potential to be punished as contempt of court. So no calling or writing her from the jail, all right? Both cases will be coming back on the 11th, and somebody on the outside or you need to get a hold of your lawyer as quick as you can and let them know where you are and what's going on, okay?
Okay, if I pay the $1,000, am I allowed to get out?
You're not getting out till before the 11th, no. All right, thank you.
Fine.
And I've got a Jeremy Henry. Okay, why is he here for? Jail, can you tell me why Jeremy's here? Is he a fugitive?
He took a sentence on a felony for DOC, and he was here for 2 days.
Oh, okay. So he got, Jeremy, you signed for some DOC time, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, how much time do you have in right now?
106 days, 7
Okay.
days.
State any problem, we give him time served, get him on the road.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Jeremy, you want to take care of the misdemeanor with time served so you can get on the road?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent. Do you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 18MM2666. As to the charge of battery, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 90 days in the county jail. Credit 90 days served. Fine and court cost is $880. $100 for the public defender. I will not order any cost of incarceration because that would have been done at circuit court. So that takes care of this case, Jeremy, so you're free to go wherever you got to go next, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Is Patrick, okay, hold Patrick Grady up for me if he's still there.
1 moment.
Yep.
He starts thinking about it real quick.
Yeah. Raise your hand for me, Elaine. Solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, all truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
State your name.
Denise Laufenberg.
All right, Denise. I took care of Patrick's case earlier when you were here. I set a bond for him and I ordered him not to have any contact with him. You're here, which I assume means you're going to tell me that you'd rather have contact with him. Is that correct?
Yes, or an ROR, yes.
Okay, well, I can't ROR him.
Okay.
Because they require me to set a monetary bond on a domestic case.
Okay.
How long have you known Patrick?
4 years.
Okay. And he's a boyfriend or a husband or what is he?
Husband.
Okay. And are you concerned that he's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you to get you to come here to ask for contact?
No.
Okay. All right. So, now can I have his paperwork back? Great. All right. So, Patrick, earlier before Denise got here, I set your condition of bond at no contact, and we went over that. Since she's here and asking for contact, I'm going to amend that to peaceful contact. Yep. What peaceful contact means, of course, is always a crime for you to have to touch her in any way she does not want to be touched. It now could be a violation of your conditions of pretrial release if you so much as raise your voice. Any contact that you have with her must be amenable to being described as peaceful. So if it can't be described as peaceful, you can't do it. You understand that, Patrick?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As far as you're concerned, Denise, you can have peaceful contact. You don't have to have contact with him if you don't want to. That's entirely up to you. If anything should happen that makes you feel like you need to call 911, you should call 911 right away.
Okay.
The sheriff's office is going to come running just as fast as they ever would. This doesn't change anything as far as
Okay.
I'm concerned.
Okay.
The other thing I'll tell you to do is they would have made you an appointment with the state attorney's office last night. You need to keep that appointment so that you can tell them what you'd like to do with this case. The only way they're going to know is if you go and tell them, right?
Okay.
All right. Any questions?
No.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yep.
He was given a $500 bond. I don't recall what his criminal history was, but based upon the victim's request in this matter to reduce it to an ROR, I'd be asking for a lesser bond of perhaps $50.
Well, even 500 is going to cost them $100 with a bondsman. It kind of, we sort of are bottoming out at this point. So, are you working, Denise?
No.
Okay. All right.
I stay at home with my baby.
Okay. I'll set the bond at $50. Because I have a soft spot for Miss Cavallieco
Thank you,
more than
Judge.
anything else. So $50, Patrick. Peaceful contact. You're still coming back on the 16th. Okay.
All right.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then jail is.